Hello and welcome back to the Information Command Center. We're here with another live update for you. Joining myself, Lisa Joseph, alongside Primus Hutchinson, is Minister for Agriculture. It's a very long one. Natural resources, fisheries, cooperatives. Speaking about Honorable Ezechiel Joseph, and he gives a chuckle there, which means that he doesn't mind too much. And it's a very, very long list of responsible ministerial portfolios there, Minister. We want to get straight into the conversation. I know that there's a lot to discuss. We also want to let our viewers know that you can also participate by, as always, on our Facebook page there as you follow along the discussion. You have a question to pose, you can do so, and I'll be happy to have the Minister answer that for you. I believe that we'll also be having the telephone lines open a little later on in the program. Minister Joseph, last you were here, we were just beginning to get into the state of emergency, and we had a lot of concern from the farming community as well from our fishers, with great understanding that for them it was a question of how would they be able to survive, how would even the rest of the population survive, because they are indeed very vital in the chain of things and how we operate, how we sustain ourselves. Let's look at, before we get into fishery, we talk a bit about our farmers. Now we know that the easing of a certain of the restrictions are now allowing people out on the farms. We do have some trade taking place, vendors are coming to sell produce and so forth. But a lot of the concern really has to do with the assistance that is being provided to help farmers really stabilize, because whatever may be happening now with the livelihood is certainly not at the scale as pre-COVID. So perhaps you could also give us an idea as to how the ministry is handling things, and then we can get into the assistance that the ministry is also providing.
Well, let me say good afternoon to you and to my good friend Primus, and to the listening public, and especially to our farmers and fisher folks who are listening. Like you said, last time I was here, I had the opportunity to give an appreciation as to the challenges that we are facing as it pertains to the agricultural sector, and of course, as a government, what we were doing to assist our stakeholders. And I say stakeholders because it's not only farmers, but we have persons involved in agro-processing, which plays a very vital role, an important role as it pertains to the agriculture sector. So I'm happy to be back here again to give an update. And like you said, post-COVID, we were well on our way with our plans, our initiatives as far as agriculture is concerned. And we had a number of programs which we had started, which I can articulate as we move ahead, as it pertains to how we can support our farmers. And when I speak our farmers, speaking generally, because sometimes the fishermen say, we go on a show and you only speak about farmers, and you just speak about our fishers, But when I speak about farmers, I speak about the fishers also. What we are doing as far as this is concerned. We had this 7-crop program which we started, okay? And the whole objective of that program was to reduce our importation of 7 crops, which we know we can do. What we did was to do the analysis over the years to see the level of importation of these crops, to see when we were importing these crops as far as the lows and highs as it pertains to the importation of these crops. And to find out, when we have done that analysis, to find out why is it our farmers could not capitalize on the cultivation of these crops. And what we realized that most times the high as it pertains to importation coincided with the rainy season and coincided with the tourism season. Okay. All right? So because of the traditional manner in which our farmers are cultivating, what we call open field, during the Kawen, all right, you find that it's very challenging for them without the introduction of technology to be able to capitalize on the production of these crops when it is in high demand and the prices are more attractive. So as a ministry, we said, look, we need to really engage the hoteliers and to engage the supermarkets and to start looking for resources, how we can assist these farmers. So when people speaking about concerns as to post-COVID as far as lack of food. That's not our concern. Our food is overproduction. Because what's happening right now, you're going around the market and you see there's the vendors selling at reduced prices because they have to get rid of the produce. Because, I mean, agriculture produce do not stay. They have a very short shelf life. You go and you manufacture a chair and the chair can stay. You manufacture a bottle of wine, it can stay. But when it comes to agricultural produce, if you don't go into the question of value added and agro-processing, it has a very short shelf life. So what is happening now, in an attempt for the farmers to recoup some of the investment, they have to sell at reduced prices, sometimes below cost of production. So that is the problem we have right now, and that's the concern we have as a ministry. Because if you have persons selling at below cost of production, how do they have money to reinvest, right, and to continue when things have leveled up? So during the program, I will have spent some time to speak generally as to what we intend to do to at least to keep the motivation there, to keep the farmers involved. But what we're experiencing right now is that we have production levels that we have to get rid of, because all of us here would appreciate that the closure of the hotels has impacted negatively on farmers' availability on market. It has, okay? Now, I'm seeing videos going around what's happening in St. Vincent. But you see, like I was saying, what's happening in St. Vincent, it didn't start after COVID. St. Vincent has a trade, a huckster's trade that has been going on for, so they have in place all this infrastructure to export to Guadeloupe, to export to there, because they have the shipping and everything arranged. So that was something that started as COVID came. It was something that is there because of the infrastructure they have. We are limited. One comes to capitalizing on the regional trade. We export to Barbados, that's green bananas. We export to Antigua. But the problem we have is a reliable shipping arrangement, transportation arrangement. That's the challenge we have. So we are working on along.
Some would say, so what makes St. Vincent completely different when it comes to shipping? As you mentioned, you say they have the structure. I think shipping is part of that. So what makes St. Vincent so unique that they're able to continue plying even during this COVID time, and we can't seem to do the same?
Well, like I said, it started before COVID. That infrastructure was there. I mean, when you look at the situation in St. Vincent, we have a more local market, available local market with the hoteliers, unlike St. Vincent. St. Vincent have the type of room capacity that we have.
So, sorry, Minister, just to be able to make it clear. So you say that St. Vincent, because they do not have that same market access to the hotels, because you know we have hotels in abundance, but St. Vincent is not really a tourist destination. Is that what you're saying? That is not. It's not predominantly.
Yeah,
so
it's not.
It's right.
Okay.
Okay. So they do not have that readily available market, and so for them, that regional trade there is what the economy really is based on. Us. The agriculture economy is being supported by. That's what you're saying.
Yes, the regional trade is a big thing in St. Vincent, right? It's a big activity in St. Vincent compared to St. Lucia. Our regional trade in St. Lucia is more or less, no, well, not regional trade. Our trade is more international. You go to England, we have guys exporting to the UK, to the US, we have guys exporting to Canada. But when it comes to regional trade, it's very limited and limited only to bananas, right? In Barbados, sometimes Trinidad, but they have challenges in Trinidad as it pertains to getting paid on a timely basis, so that is affecting the trade, and of course Antigua.
Okay, and so you were explaining that for St. Lucia, being able to have that ready market there with the hotel, so that has gone. How is it now? I know that the government of St. Lucia decided, well, okay, we can step in, and it's now ensuring that produce from the farmers is now being bought, and that is to support the National Meals Program. How much of a bridging is that effort making in terms of being able to allow for farmers to be able to see their livelihood being sustained?
Well, you can never compare the markets, the markets with the hotels with what we are doing right now. But I mean, as a cabinet, when we look at the situation and we discuss it, we say, look, PM say, look, we have the infrastructure, the hotels. I mean, the staff. Some hotels are still paying staff. Why don't we engage the hotels and see how we can utilize the services of the labor of those individuals that are being paid to enter into a meal program? By having, of course, we just restructured the marketing board, by having the central marketing board now to be responsible to purchase from these farmers, especially during the time when Marcy was closed, because Marcy is another major market for our farmers when the supermarkets were closed. So that is how the whole idea of the meals program came on board, and it's really helping in a significant way farmers to dispose of their produce, not in the way that we would like, but it's creating an avenue for our farmers. So yes, the meal program is helping, and in fact what we are looking at is see how we can expand it to bring more persons into the meal program, so at least you can provide to our farmers a market the way they can dispose of their produce through the central marketing board.
Okay, let's take a pause from the English and say bonjour, Primus.
Oui, nous n'y avons ministre qui est responsable pour l'agriculture, qui a dit beaucoup moins de moi, et extrêmement aussi les affaires agricoles. Monsieur le ministre, nous savons la situation maladie corona et aussi carrément ça a posé un lot de problèmes pour le développement agricole à pays. Nous savons que ces produits, ça depuis qu'il y a un Vitala, particulièrement pour ces hôtels-là, qui changement gouvernement mis en place comme ministère pour adresser cette situation, ça, pour soulager de la façon.
Well, comme on dit, plus bon, avant Covid, nous tenions un programme, nous avons créé 7 crop programmes en anglais. Ça est 7 dans oui, nous avons vu qui manière nous ça produit fraude l'année pour nous ça baisser à ce quantité à 3 pays. Et puis ça a commencé. Et puis ça nous, les gens qui parlé about problème et puis pas de manger. Ça nous a catché ça problème nous concerne nous c'est farmers qui produit, but you pass à vendre. All right. Now, co-ministry, co-gouvernement, nous where it create problems by ces farmers là, because local produit dans we agricole et puis on peut vendre plus vite que possible, because c'est by ça dans we agricole pas ni so que long shelf life, il pas durer pour longtemps. Et puis pour ça nous dit agro-processing c'est un qui est important, et puis moi quand on discuss ça nous va faire pour agro-processing quand nous move forward. So, le gouvernement nous dit que l'hôtel est fermé, la supermarché est fermé, parce que Massy a fait un bon job, qui a supporté les farmers, les venus pour la place, ça Massy a fait, il est important, mais Massy est fermé aussi, le 24 hours shutdown. So, le gouvernement nous dit, ok, qui ça nous a fait? Et nous décidons, si on sait pas là nous a fait pour supporter les farmers, c'est ça encore qui meals programme pour boire manger et puis pour distribuer manger en respective communes, et puis quand nous avons restructuré central marketing board, nous dit que c'est important que si nous avons service central marketing board comme central marketing entity, so ces hôtels là qui savent qui ça nous ni available, et puis ils savent développer menu à ce ça nous ni locally. Right? Now, ça c'est bon pour nous, parce que ça nous a fait pas uniquement pour ces farmers là opportunité pour vendre, mais ça nous a aussi fait c'est expose ces chefs là de hôtel là pour servir chaque marchandise locale, pour développer menu qui servir chaque marchandise locale. Parce que les pour me voir menu nous dit ça menu a dit nous pas servir chaque local. So yo vie manger menu pour servir chaque baril local. So il y a nous also opportunity pour nous exposer ces chefs là, et puis c'est ça nous a produit local là, et puis ça développer un menu et puis c'est dans où nous avons produit local. Ça c'est un petit bagage là nous avons fait. But lorsque nous avons parlé de la post-COVID, qui a le support nous avons farmers, qui a le support nous avons ces monde dans l'industrie, including agro-processing, as we move forward.
Bon, Monsieur le ministre, il y a dans ces situations nous avons trouvé à présent, quand je suis en train de discuter, quand la maladie corona sur nous, c'est un mouvement touristique là, ça vient descendre bas tout bonnement. Alors, attention, c'est agricole. Bon, on l'a monde qui a dit, accordé agricole partenaire qualité support a été supposé ni, mais à présent, le gouvernement n'est pour changer paille et mettre pousser agricole pour y aller à la plus haut degré. Bien, Bali qualité attention qui industrie touristique la tenue. Est-ce que ça n'est pas valable?
No, I mean, but on nous pas dire c'est tourisme et bien agricole. Right? Ça pas ça gouvernement ça a dit. Gouvernement pas dit on développer tourisme et puis oublier agricole. Nous a dit si tous les deux ni pour développer ensemble. Et pour ça because on ça a fait actuellement. Ce tourisme industrie ça a affecté la place farmers en cette lycée. Right? Because farmers a produit manger nous a produit il trop pour nourrir cette lycée tout seulement. So nous pouvons l'autre market. L'autre market là c'est tourisme, l'autre market là c'est regional market là, l'autre là c'est international market, right? But of course on peut prendre ces standards là pour infrastructure là et puis mission venir pour infrastructure là pour international market. Yeah. So moi ça dit that comme ministry nous toujours savent that il est porté pour bailler support et puis nous avons bailler support et puis pour ça avant Covid. C'est ça avant Covid nous avons commencé un programme. Nous avons commencé un programme qui ça nous a produit cette ici. Qu'on a continuous basis, right? Et puis pour ça nous commençons puis c'est cette way ça nous identifier because nous croyons that et puis the introduction of technology pour faire bailler différent. Because là nous fait un analysis là primers ça nous voit that là nous quand importer plus c'est de ça c'est les si nous n'est plutôt cette ici. Là nous importer plus de ça c'est là ça va créer rainy season now
saison la pluie.
Saison la pluie. So nous quoi nous ça introduce technology nous quoi nous ça bail support pour farmers pour assister pour ça produit c'est de ça les demandes là et les prix à primaire, right? So pour ça si mon cas dit Covid ca expose agriculture, Covid pas expose agriculture in a negative way. Covid a just dit that tourisme c'est important et puis plus nous développer tourisme c'est plus il ba nous opportunity en agricole pour nous ça développer.
Monsieur le ministre, nous avons en situation corona, il y a encourager moun de l'eau important. Alors nous savons où est-ce qu'on va changer pressure parce que moun ka dit où est-ce qu'on supposé là côté nous te parler que récemment ici et que yo moun ka mettre poser en pile pèse là yo pour service yo parce que moun ka dit yo pas ka rien assez de l'eau. Alors de l'eau important et qu'on est-ce qu'on pour produire de l'eau. Même pas là pour les farmers, yo besoin de l'eau. Ces animaux ont besoin de l'eau. C'est dans où il y a besoin de l'eau. Nous quand c'est venir haka sec nous n'y a moyen va venir premier c'est sec nettoiement comment mangement qu'a fait puisque la plupart a tombé et ces femmes a besoin de l'eau il a besoin de irrigation mais comment on pour faire bagarre là il garde difficile pour moi moi parce que comment qualité miroir qu'a fait si situation la pluie quand même continuer manier là après ça.
Au cours du was côté ici et puis was quoi expliquer challenge là yoni les venir pour drought là. In fact moi ici aujourd'hui je discuter un meeting cabinet et puis ça do cabinet qui discuss après-midi ça va que emergency measures les venir pour affaire drought là because nous joignent vendredi et puis ces stakeholders là dit nous pour déclarer une emergency pour l'eau. Now, ou parle about agriculture. Là nous parler en vrai de nous dit qui ça qui fait pour agriculture, but here it is nous pour nous reconnaître, right? Nous pour continuer à encourager farmers pour planter. Et puis programme nous mettre post Covid qui by support pour farmers continuer, but ça fait gloire important, right? Code c'est l'envie à sec. C'est pas faute nous, c'est climate change, you know? So definitely Georgia nous avons décidé qui ça a emergency order, qui ça fait. Mais si ça va dire ça fait user land pas fait, ça fait pour laver machine pas fait, mais c'est là pour faire agriculture qui ça nous avons décidé. Even construction, because nous dit construction c'est qui est important seulement post Covid pour create employment, but construction ka servi l'eau pour mix concrete pour faire bail comme ça. So c'est tout ces bail ça nous avons discuté après-midi en cabinet, les gens qui étaient ici pour vivre là pour nous faire emergency declaration, so moun savent qui ça fait, qui manière ça servir l'eau, qui ça servir l'eau, qui quantité ça c'est pas so point ça vous mettez là ou faire là c'est pour qui bien important et puis ça permet parce qu'il a plus actuellement parce que nous pouvons prendre décision encore cabinet.
So nous avant nous aller police qui après cabinet meeting ça là aujourd'hui le gouvernement a fait un annoncement bien vite que possible.
Emergency. Yeah. Because moi ça dit bis association nous a dit nous voulons commencer emergency l'autre lundi. Right? Because l'année d'autres on peut faire avant commencer emergency, on peut nous advertise, on mettre le papier, tout ça. So as far as date là pour commencer, ça ministre a propose, c'est pour lundi. Mais nous voir ça si cabinet qui a agree pour lundi, si OK on check toujours, but c'est ça nous a propose.
Okay.
Yes sir.
Yes, we need to take a break, Minister. There is a little technical issue with your microphone, so we want to be able to deal with that. When we come back, we will have the Minister go over that proposed plan there for the National Water Emergency, a declaration that Cabinet is mulling over at this very moment. So stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
COVID-19 is a new pandemic disease as declared by the World Health Organization. It is transmitted directly by respiratory droplets when an infected person coughs or sneezes, or indirectly through rubbing the face with contaminated hands. There is still no specific treatment or vaccine against COVID-19, and as such, the farming community should adhere to some special recommendations. Ensure that farm clothing and gear is clean. Wash hands thoroughly before harvesting crops. Use face masks and head ties whilst harvesting, cleaning, and packaging crops. Use all safety precautions when transporting crops to the markets and depots, such as handling crates and crops with only clean hands and covering sneezes and coughs with a tissue or the inner arm to ensure body fluids or droplets don't get on produce, and washing hands or using hand sanitizer after using the tissue. More than ever before, your important role as gatekeepers of St. Lucia's nutritional, health and food security should be taken seriously. When you exercise these precautions, you not only safeguard your health, but also continue to allow all St. Lucians access to freshly grown fruits, vegetables and other local crops. Remember, it is our responsibility to ensure our nation eats fresh, St. Lucia's best.
And welcome back to the Information Command Center. We continue the discussion with Minister Ezechiel Joseph. Before we went to break, the Minister did make known that the Cabinet of Ministers at this time is considering a proposal for a declaration of a state of emergency for water emergency on island. So Minister, this must be, I know for you, you do have responsibility for the water sector and the natural resources. And this must be very, very worrying because, as Primus indicated, we have our farming community, and the farming community depends largely on water to be able to produce. So what exactly is the situation, and why has that proposal come to Cabinet?
Well, like you Primus rightfully said, sometime last week, if I recall, Wasco was well represented here. to discuss what are the challenges that they are faced with as it pertains to the supply, or reliable supply of water. And what we are realizing, I mean, this year is the worst compared to the two previous years. If I don't, 14 and 15, I believe, 2014, 2015, if my memory serves me right. But it's this year, we are realizing the level at the John Compton Dam is much lower, earlier than these years. In fact, what they are saying that the previous years where we had experienced that type of situation, it is all the way down in June, July. We in April, May, you know, and that's when we're experiencing it. So they are now calling the authorities to really consider a state of emergency. And like I said in part, what are the respective entities that would be so affected? Like you rightfully said, this agriculture is critical, and water is critical for farmers to continue with livestock or crops. I do not see if we agree to discontinue farmers using water for the livestock, but when it comes to crops now, then it's something that we have to look at in a very serious way. We have not taken a decision as to the respective economic activities that will be so affected. We have discussed when we met with the stakeholders last week to look at what are the options. We discussed the whole aspect of agriculture and how it's going to affect agriculture. We also look at the time frame, and we're looking at to start the state of emergency on Monday the 18th. But like I said, I left cabinet to come here. We have not started that discussion, but it's something we will be discussing today, whether we start on the 18th and the entities that will be affected as it pertains to the state of emergency. So coming out of the cabinet decision, I mean, the general public will be informed as to the decision of cabinet moving forward. But definitely, whilst we are mindful of the impact of feeding ourselves during the COVID environment that we are operating under, there's also that challenge of a drought, serious drought affecting St. Lucia, and that is why WASCO is not in a position to provide a sustainable supply of water island-wide. So they are rationing, and we are hoping that at least people can understand that, and of course will give support to the state of emergency as it pertains to the utilization of water, because that's critical for us.
Provide us with a little bit more understanding, Minister, because I know that the public upon hearing this would say, but the John Compton Dam is there. Why should we be having a problem with water? And then someone say, oh, well, we know that the siltation problem at the John Compton Dam, but then there's also the thinking that the government may have prolonged or delayed rather this intervention at the dam. Can you explain to us why it has taken this long for us to have seen the siltation at the dam?
Well, I'm happy you bring this up, Lisa, because before I came in as the one responsible for WASCO, I was under the impression, based on discussions taking place as it pertains to the desilting the John Compton Dam, that the desilting could have been done in a matter of months. Okay?
Well, you're not the only one. I think we all do.
In a matter of months,
Yes.
right? In reality, that's not the reality. To desil the John Compton Dam, to bring it back to its original state, it will take about 8 years. Okay? So what we are doing, the whole discussion and the whole aspect of desilting the John Compton Dam, and it will take 8 years if we do not experience another Thomas. It will take 8 years if you don't experience another negative impact of climate change, and you have soil erosion and the dam is being resilted. It will take 8 years, okay? So we talk about 8 years of normal conditions. What we found was that the project is only going to distill, I'm using some technical terms there, to bring the level to the upper pot. There are two levels where the water can be harvested, what we call an upper and a lower pot. So the contract that was being discussed was to bring the water level to what we call the lower pot, where you can get a little more capacity, but not to distill the entire John Compton Dam. We, as a government, we examined the proposal that we found there, and the cabinet was not in agreement with the proposal that we found there. So we had, as a government, as a ministry, along with WASCO, had to go and renegotiate, because the dredging fee, which we all started long before dredging had commenced, was the whole intention to distill the John Compton Dam. So we had to go and renegotiate, right? And we had to now divide the project into two phases, a phase 1 and a phase 2. The phase 1 is the preparation of the settlement disposable area, where you're going to dispose the silt that you're going to remove from the John Compton Dam into an area for, to put it in an area safe enough so it does not contaminate our water supply. So we had to acquire land, which we did. We had to, look at the project again and redesign the project as its two phases. Unfortunately for us, the preparation of the settlement disposable area, you can't seal the dam without you have the settlement disposable area finalized. Unfortunately for us, the settlement disposable area took more time than we expected. You know why? Now, when you're expecting the rains last year, you're expecting the dry weather last year, you're getting rains. Now, you cannot prepare the settlement disposable area during the rainy season. And last year, that's unprecedented when it comes to rainfall. So that affected the delay in preparing the settlement disposable area. Okay. Now we want the rain, because the settlement disposable area is almost finished. Now we want the rain to start dredging in a dry period, because you cannot dredge without the overflow of the spillway. So it's unfortunate. We see climate change has affected our ability to start dredging, because the contract has been signed with the company responsible for doing the dredging. The dredge is on the lake, right? But we cannot start dredging because of the level of the level of water in the dam. You have to dredge at a certain level. So we are hoping, based on the predictions by the Met Office, that we can, by July, August, we can start seeing the rainfalls that are required, and we can start doing the dredging. But we're ready to dredge. But just that we cannot dredge now because of the level of water in the John Compton Dam.
Just for further clarification, Minister, you, at the top of that explanation, you indicated that in coming to office, that proposal or that agreement that was there, the government did not believe that it was the best possible avenue. Can you explain to us why that was? What exactly is it that flagged the government with what was already in place?
It will be a loan guaranteed by government. And government told us, the cabinet told us, look, we do think they should be responsible for guaranteeing the loan. Go back and negotiate with the Caribbean Development Bank, and WASCO on its own should be able to be able to negotiate the loan with Caribbean Development Bank. So that's why we have to break it up in two phases, a phase 1 and a phase 2, as far as getting the resources from Caribbean Development Bank and also using the dredging fee.
Okay. And of course, that dredging fee would have been that sort of revenue stream in order to be able to pay for that, had all things been equal.
Well, the dredging fee has been able to pay for the phase 1 of the project, that's the settlement disposable area under the NUC, right? But of course, the second, phase 2, which is the silting, we negotiated a loan with the Caribbean Development Bank for WASCO.
Okay, before I head back to Primus, we spoke about the technology in farming. What do you believe is most absent for our farmers in order for them to be able to really come into this modern era of the technology? Give us an idea as to what it is that we're missing and what you want to see.
Well, you see, and that is why we as a government, and I want to go back to my first stint as Minister of Agriculture, we had agreed during the time that we have to introduce more young persons into agriculture. The challenge for the young people at the time was land and financial resources, because that's where we can introduce new technology. As a government at the time, we were able to get $3.5 million grant funding from CARICOM Development Fund for what we call a youth in agricultural program. We had identified 5 locations where government owned the land, ideal land for agriculture, and we had agreed that at least we would look at 150 young persons, give them the land, help them the resources, and introduce technology at that level. Okay. Unfortunately, we lost the elections, and that project never materialized the way we expected it to, because it was what we call a model project in the region. All right, and the CARICOM Development Fund was looking at that as a model project to replicate it in other areas, other locations in the region. Coming back, of course, the project continued, but not in the manner that we had developed it. In fact, we're still helping some of these young farmers to get off the ground. All right? So I'm saying this to say that whilst we know that we have to introduce new technology, it's much easier for us, all right, to be able to identify persons that are ready to accept the introduction of new technology, and that's why we have to encourage more young persons into agriculture. Now, we hear a lot of talk that young persons are not interested in agriculture. That's far from the truth, all right? We have young persons who on their own have gone ahead and look at the question of the introduction of technology in agriculture. I have young farmers in Babonneau who doing hydroponics. We have a young farmer in Swazel doing hydroponics, you know. Mm-hmm. So you have one individuals doing it, but not to the level that will really impact, you know, our imports, food import bills. That's why we are saying that there's need for us to really assist our young farmers, expose them to the technology, not only in agriculture but in fishing also. Because we believe the fisheries subsector is critically important. The whole question of climate change is affecting our fishermen ability, because you look at the records over the past 2 years, we realize now there's a reduction in our catch. And why is there a reduction in our catch? Because we still tradition the way we're doing. When you look at Grenada, there's an increase because Grenada is doing it differently. You have bigger boats, they go and spend more time out there. All right, so the whole aspect of technology is critical for us moving forward, and it's how we introduce it and who we introduce it to.
Okay. I know Prime Minister will chime in just now, but we made mention earlier of some of the plans, and you did mention here, we started with the Youth in Agriculture program, that's for sure. Let's talk about some of the other plans that we had for the agriculture sector. Fisheries and, you know, traditional agriculture farming that we had in place pre-COVID.
Well, I started with the 7 Crops program, and in fact, just permit me to say that, and I need to recognize the government of Taiwan, because they are the ones funding it, all right? It was a 3-year project. We are continuing with it. We are hoping that we can see the reopening of our borders. The government is looking at sometime June, July to reopen the borders. I don't know what will the inflows as far as this is concerned, but we need to at least make a determination as to how quickly we can reopen our borders. At least we can see the throughput, or allow that throughput for our farmers. We have the banana project. A lot of people say, okay, as a government, we only concentrate on bananas, but that's incorrect. We're now developing what we call a cocoa project, because we believe cocoa has great potential. Whilst we have had a phase 1 of a cocoa, we think we should look at a phase 2, because I mean, when you look at what's happening with cocoa now, a lot of people are in the whole question of value added when it comes to cocoa. So we're looking at cocoa as another project that we want to move forward. The livestock sector is also important for us. We unfortunately we have not been able to open the meat processing facility. I can see that based on discussions that we have had, we are going to construct a new meat processing facility in Lakai and not in Beaufort. We have identified the site. We have do the designs. We have do the costings, and the investor, the DSH investor, has committed to financing the construction of that facility. In fact, PM just told me, the Honorable Prime Minister just told me that he's in negotiation to start getting the resources so he can start the construction of a new facility, and that's critical for us, because what we want our farmers to do is to production. We don't want our farmers to be us producing and also looking for market. What we should be encouraging our farmers is to have this central market. So you produce your livestock, be it like in the case of the boilers, you sell, right, and you get paid on a timely basis. You produce the pigs, the small ruminants, you sell and you get paid on a timely basis. The question of farmers now have to go and slaughter and go out there and engage the respective supermarkets or engage the hotels to sell. To me, you're spending more time out there trying to, you know, dispose of a product that, if you have a central market, it will be much easier for you to do. So that's why we're very much encouraging the whole aspect of central marketing. That's why we structured the Central Marketing Board. And I can see here, Lisa, today, Prime Minister, the Central Marketing Board in the restructuring, from the time we came in, apart from the first year where I had to go to request resources from the Prime Minister to bail out Central Marketing Board, for the next three years, we have not done that because they are in a position now to be able to realize sufficient returns to take care of the expenses. All right? So it was a very tough decision. People say we're closing down, we say we're not closing down, we're restructuring, and that's what we have done. So definitely there's need for what we call central marketing. The whole aspect of farmers going individually, going to the hotels and selling one by one, no farmer in St. Lucia, and I repeat, no farmer in St. Lucia can satisfy a hotel on a sustainable basis. All right? But collectively, you know you have a contract, you know you're producing tomatoes, you know at the end of the period you have agreed to sell your tomatoes to a central marketing entity at a basic price. You just produce and go and sell as long as you have the quality. And that's why the banana industry is still surviving, because the market is there. You know? And I'm sure Primus will agree, as a young farmer, the market is there. And that's you know, so that's important for us.
But we haven't given up. I know that there have been some difficulties with the French market, the European market. The government has not given up on that, has it?
No. And what happens is that, and I don't know if you'll have time to discuss it, Windfresh is going through some challenges right now, okay? Financial challenges, unfortunately, for bad investment. And they are not able to expand the market. Because what the French market, when we spoke about the French market, we were looking at the French market through our UK entity, that's Windfresh UK. We had a trial shipment of 3 containers, okay? Unfortunately for us, and that's the thing about the market. The market told us that they wanted 22 clusters in a box, and each cluster bagged with 6 fingers. All right? That's what the market required. We, unfortunately, when we went out there and we engaged the farmers, we were not able to get the 3,000 boxes. In fact, we had an agreement with the French market that we would have a trial for 3 months, 3,000 boxes every week. That was the agreement. Okay. Our first shipment we flawed because we could not supply the 3,000 boxes as the required. What we found is that because of the size of our fingers, we found that in some boxes there were 18 clusters, in some boxes there were 20 clusters, in some there were 22, right? So when the shipment left St. Lucia and we informed them, saying that's not what they asked us. They said they wanted 3,000 boxes with what they specify. So because of this, we had to now go either look for a bigger box. We tried a bigger box out of Martinique. Just it did not work. So the situation with Windfresh now, we're not able to look at the French market, but it's something we need to continue as far as the Windfresh get back on its feet.
And I know that, okay, regarding Windfresh, the Prime Minister has it, and you just indicated that this is something of extreme importance to the government of St. Lucia, and it wants to see certain things happen in order to allow Windfresh to be able to be on a better footing. I suppose at some other point we'll be able to discuss that.
But I can just say, just Friday, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the Prime Minister of Dominica, Honorable Skerritt, and the Prime Minister of St. Vincent, through teleconferencing, had a meeting with the board of Windfresh, and what they required from the management and board is to put a proposal, and this either Thursday or Friday this week, these prime ministers will be reviewing the proposal and to see how we move, how we restructure Windfresh. So which of course is very comforting, because whilst I know St. Vincent and St. Lucia has always been in the forefront, now Dominica is on board. Unfortunately, Grenada has not come on board, but Dominica is on board. They has pumping financial resources to help Windfresh. So it's for us now to get a proposal as to how we get out of the situation that we're in right now.
Promise I'll let you come in just to say, Minister, what would you say to the members of the who who believe in that it's a cop-out to say that Windfresh is a sort of stumbling block in the access to Europe?
No, I wouldn't say it's a cop-out. That's the reality. The reality is that Windfresh have not even paid our banana farmers for weeks in St. Lucia, because of the financial situation. In fact, governments, I don't know if they would remember, I had to go and seek at least $1 million payment for the banana farmers in lieu of Windfresh not paying them. I'm looking for another $1 million. So that's the reality. The reality is that the cable paid banana farmers in St. Lucia, the cable paid banana farmers in Dominica. The situation of Windfresh is not encouraging. We have to restructure Windfresh for it to be able to do what it's doing. So at least what we're doing now is to see how we can restructure Windfresh to see how we can operate as a viable entity. And coming from that, then you can look at it as not expanding.
But how are the banana farmers generally responding to all of these challenges?
Well, the good thing about it is still continue to harvest, but it's, I mean, the ministry is under a lot of pressure because, I mean, when I speak with the chairman, and I can understand that, I mean, just before COVID, just before Easter, we were able to give them $1 million, but when we look at what's happening, Windfresh owed them over $2 million, and that's why you have to look for more resources to pay them. But the good thing about it is still continue to harvest the bananas, and we're hoping that we can really get out of that situation as early as possible, so at least we can see the expansion of that industry.
Before we venture back into quail, but there's a new livestock station coming on stream soon. You want to tell us a little bit about that? I think.
Oh, Volet. Well, the relocation of Bosejo, right? Yeah, because of the DSH project, we had to relocate on Bosejo. So we have identified area in.
That's an interesting name for that.
That's the name of the place.
It sort of lends itself to pretty larceny.
C'est pas volet. It's not volet. It's volet. Yeah, in Volet in Mico. Yes, we have started constructing the pens there, our office down there. So that'll be the new home for Bosejo. We're hoping that it can be completed as soon as possible, so you can relocate. So right now, our animals are with Safalis farm. We're getting challenges there because of pretty larceny on the farm. So definitely yes.
Monsieur le ministre, nous avons vu un créole et figla c'est un compte qui explique à l'anglais la place là farmer a continué pour produire figue, nous avons ça tous les jours. Ils sont planter pli, nous avons commencé à planter, à cultiver pli. Et situation la place là, mais on dit Windfresh ni en méchante situation. Moi-même je crois Windfresh c'était un multi-billion-dollar business. Il passe un bagage là qui marche comme doit être et c'est pèse là ça sous dos comme ministre agriculture qui ni tout pèse là les à présent. Comment on peut faire balancer ça parce que moi ça ces femmes à leur fortement c'est juste là et que Windfresh pour
well correct Windfresh c'est un multi-million-dollar business. L'OV asset Windfresh is a multi-million, but Windfresh panic cash flow. Unfortunately, you panic cash flow pour pay suppliers, you panic cash flow pour payer ces monnaies que acheter fig from, ça va affecter cette liste aussi. Ces farmers là, moi ça dit moi ils n'ont pas patience because ils n'ont pas confiance ça nous qu'a fait. Yo effort nous qu'a fait comme gouvernement. Nous a assisté pour bailler $1 million. In fact, avant $1 million, nous avons fait NIC acheter comme des multi-million-dollar business, so which means you need a asset. Et puis, you need un colisac NIC acheter terre, bailler l'argent, Windfresh l'argent pour mener ça puis en dette, mais ça va tenir assez. So, le gouvernement nous a ça nous a fait pour assister. Mais comme on dit, c'est farmers là qui étaient représentés NFTO en meeting là nous travailler $1 million. Ça pas sustainable. Nous pas ça continuer qu'à acheter l'argent pour payer dette en organisation which nous yon c'est shareholder là ni quatre les autres shareholders c'est Dominique et puis la Grenade, right? Nous fait parce que ces farmers nous tous seulement qui affecté en région so nous qu'a fait. But nous pas ça continuer qu'à faire tout là so nous ni pour restructure Windfresh. Et puis moi ça dit that based sous leadership Prime Minister Alan Chasney, il a parlé by Prime Minister Gonzalez et puis Prime Minister Gonzalez parlé by Prime Minister Dominic et puis vendredi nous tenions un meeting par Zoom pour discuter Windfresh pour mener nous à restructure Windfresh. Meeting ça était board là et puis management Windfresh et puis ça Prime Minister ça meeting là d'accord c'est that nous n'y pouvons un plan from Winfresh, management Winfresh, qui manière nous sorti en situation ça because nous pas côté cas populaire nous pas qui nous sorti.
Only restructure monde ça garder explication ça différentes façons. Est-ce ça veut dire la kind changement c'est management Winfresh
tout ça possible. Tout ça possible. Restructuring tout est possible. Si nous avons un plan qui porté par plan qui a nous pièce d'encouragement, nous pouvons ça faire. Parce que comme ministre a dit, cette liste dit à the meeting board cette liste. Là si on fait pas ça nous support pour acheter fig nous, manière nous voulons acheter fig nous avons l'autre option. Et puis moi ça nous avons l'autre option et puis ils savent ça. Management Winfresh savent nous avons l'autre option because nous pas continuer à rely à son management structure qui par nous support. But Premier ministre et moi nous pas d'accord avec ça. Premier ministre quoi nous ça laisse quitter Winfresh aller dehors, nous a dit non parce que nous avons toute infrastructure en Angleterre pour ripen banners. Nous avons investment en Angleterre. Pour moi nous pas ça courir quitter Winfresh. Ça nous fait c'est restructure Winfresh. Si vous cherchez management.
Plus vite quoi ça peut faire.
Well, for the 10 semaines ça j'ai dit pour les 10 semaines ça nous ça bis asu ou après nous inform management nous avons ça un small committee committee and representative from service and representative for settlement pour ver livre Winfresh pour ver ça projection na yo capodia et puis pour dire nous si ça committee à quoi c'est si c'est bon bail.
Nous t'ai parlé plus bon monsieur ministre asu manger avec nécessité manger avec maïs puis business touristique là les monde qui croit qui particulièrement fig majorité fig production fig mais l'autre dedans aussi pour mettre attention à sur les autres pays caraïbes là est-ce que est possible là nous l'avantage qui ces pays ça nous ça vendre et puis on ça vendre by l'autre nous ni fig nous ca produire fig nous ça vendre by les autres pays à Caraïbes là faire de façon que ça amène profit pour cette liste les femmes.
Well, oui, nous avons fig by Babad. In fact, sous côté discussion budget là, où c'est opposition regardé, on perd la place Babad là. So, on blâmer Ezechiel pour la place Babad là qui perd. Parce que Ezechiel parle des femmes qui utilisent des figues, ces femmes là qui utilisent des figues. Moi toujours dit that depuis qu'on produit bonne qualité figues, on peut savoir bonne qualité figues. Moi quand encourager femmes pour planter pour produire bonne qualité figues. Là où et puis moi pas mixer vous avec ça. Responsabilité pour bonne qualité. C'est responsabilité femmes. C'est pas responsabilité pièce gouvernement. Right? So si ou ka fait shortcut et puis shortcut là qui a affecté qualité ou pas ça blâmer gouvernement pour ça. Right? Because gouvernement a bail tout support ça bail là. But les pays dit mais c'est ce qu'a fait là. Les pays qui dit ou pas ça, moi pas acheter the way from because ou ka introduce un bête ou disease ou panier pays moi. Payer ça ni right là pour faire. So les dom babad ka dit bis asu sayoka we union milibag nous panier babad et puis co-gouvernement, co-ministre, co-project, nous allons nous parler by farmers, nous éduquer eux. Il est important pour servir diaphine neuf et pas recycle diaphine, parce que là où recycle diaphine, il n'y a pas d'effet là encore diaphine neuf. Vous voulez sauver 50 cents ou 25 cents pour perdre un whole fig. Non, vous pouvez économics là. Right? So, il est important de nous parler sérieux by farmers. Farmers ont une responsabilité. Pas on fait tout ça là, tout bagaille. Quality qu'à vendre. Ou pas qu'à aller dans la place et puis acheter un apple qui molle. Ou pas qu'à y faire. So, même manière, ou pas ça respecte un monde qui a acheté figure si figure ni problème là-dedans. So, quand le gouvernement dit nous pour faire ça, nous pour faire ci, oui, nous avons fait ça, nous avons fait ça. Mais ces femmes là, et puis c'est monde qui a acheté figure là, je suis assuré que tu as acheté figure ni bon politique.
Monsieur le ministre, ça fait qualité, ça c'est un qui a prédit pour chez les femmes. Pour un chaitan, moi j'ai tant à Winban, ça c'est un autre sujet là, tu as prêché par les femmes en pile, bonne qualité pour faire ces bagages qui est nécessaire pour ça produire pour change figure en autre. Et nous en 2020, moun ka continuer prêcher by les femmes pour produire bonne qualité. Si yo ka
Primus, moi d'accord pour parce que moi travaille avec extension officer puis moi même ça faire ça nous pour faire l'année farmers qui bon l'année farmers qui a fait bagaille right on travaille ces farmers ça depuis ou fall through the crack on peut faire ou pas quitter ces farmers là qui pas qu'à faire bagaille right pour croiser l'industrie là non c'est pas nous qui acheter figue là. Right? C'est NFT qui a acheté fig là, c'est mon qui a exporté qui a acheté fig là. So nous pour tirer ça fait camarade et puis relationship. Ça c'est business. So et puis on record là que toute femme en immo en les boîtes là. So où savent ces femmes là qui a vieille qualité discipline. Et puis ces femmes là qui a bonne qualité continuer travailler.
Vous voulez dire nous que on peut discipliner
pas acheter fig pas acheter figure. Pas acheter figure.
Ça c'est oui, ça c'est pas blague.
Because les gens investigate, c'est pas c'est a handful of farmers qui avouent bad quality, a handful of farmers qui ont problem et puis mini bug là. No, nous almost perdre la place, bad. Right? Because of indiscipline among the farmers. Nous pas ça continuer à faire ça. Et puis on va venir ici et puis parler mixed woods. Nous pas ça continuer à faire ça because comme on a des farmers projet ça nous va faire c'est dernier fois on a un cadre là on pompe en des affaires figues on nous pour faire right.
Mais monsieur le ministre est que Manhattan a farmer parler à sur radio le côté câble pile à côté ils sont là ni ba ami wa connaître ba connaître si vous connaître le ça vous témoin parce que moi ça pas si vous connaître bien parce que mané ko parler à côté union on magic wand ko dire que ça juste c'est mieux fait les venir pour production particulièrement figue.
Well I mean moi as a agriculture longtemps pour ça c'est farmers moi. Now moi ça dit that gouvernement pas perfect. Nous pas toutes les ressources là nous besoin but farmers ont une responsabilité aussi right et puis responsabilité c'est pour capitaliser à cette opportunité nous ka bail pour faire bail primaire et puis moi a dit il n'a dit ici encore depuis farmers qui produit bonne qualité nous avons une responsabilité pour acheter la place là bas but moi pas venir ici pour dire that farmers pour try bit system là. All right, bit system là et puis quoi that gouvernement qui encourager ça. Nous pas encourager ça. Ezechiel ne pas encourager ça, so il ça blâmer moi. Depuis qu'a produit bagaille qui pas bon et puis you expect nous pour bailler aussi pour ça.
OK, nous te promettre qu'on laisse de plus bonne air nous qu'a invité ou à présent avec nous qu'a l'année l'eau femme là qui a coûté quand ça causé avec ministre là et puis nous face au public alors ça téléphoné m'a dit premier n'importe question qui a chagrin bien ouvert concerné qui a ouvert cerveau ministre là à présent alors ça crié nous ça téléphoné nous moi c'est le mot téléphone là qui a souscrit dans quoi et dit nous dit causer avec ministre là avec moi avec ministre là alors ça quoi qui ça fait avec qualité guide ouvre qualité direction ouvre les venir pour développement agricole cette ici.
C'est ma ça qu'a dit numéro 4 6 8 day yon 6 day.
Okay.
I think I did okay.
You get in there. You get in there. You just
so the telephone number is 46821.
But let's wait for the callers. I want to speak about the fisheries because that's critical.
Right.
What's happening? The challenges they have as far as the fishermen. Well, I don't want to say the law-abiding fishermen. Those persons who are out there doing illegal activities, they can affect our fisheries subsector. Friday, we met, the stakeholders met, including the Marine Police, because the committee responsible for COVID, the intention was to close again the fisheries subsector to not allow persons to go out and fish. As a ministry, we spoke against it. We felt that it will really be a negative, have a significant negative impact on our fisher folks, and we told them to allow us to engage the stakeholders, including, of course, the Marine Police. I must say it was a fruitful meeting. The number of leaders in the respective cooperative island-wide were on the Zoom meeting, and they at least made some recommendations as to the way forward, and of course give some commitment to the meeting that they will speak to the members. Now,
but do we have any concrete evidence, Minister, that we have those law-abiding fisher folk engaging in bringing in?
That's what I was coming to. Yeah. Whilst we don't have any tangible information as to what we call our legitimate fisher folks, right? But it's happening, right? And what we are saying, the mere fact that you're not doing it, but you're not reporting it, and that's what the Marine Police was saying, you're not reporting it, you're giving tacit endorsement to the situation. And we expect them to report it, because the final analysis, if it continues, right, the outcome would be to discontinue allowing fishermen to go out there and fish. And it's going to affect you, right? That's one way. It's also going to affect you because you're bringing persons you don't know if they are contaminated as far as COVID is concerned. And you're exposing your family, exposing yourself, you know, to as far as being affected. So I must say that we were encouraged, as a ministry, we were encouraged to get that commitment from the representative of the respective cooperatives that were at the meeting. And one of the things that came out of the meeting is that we need to at least speak to our fisher folks to tell them what are the possibilities as far as a total shutdown, like only every 24 hours, which you don't think that's the right thing to do. But also they have a responsibility, you know, to support our Marine Police as it pertains to providing information. Now, if they are not comfortable, because people talk, some of the fishermen who were representing the respective cooperatives spoke about the question of safety of the persons providing information. And that's true, because we don't want to expose persons there. So telephone numbers were shared, what they call private telephone numbers. If they don't want to call the Marine Police directly, they can speak to somebody they have confidence in.
So they can go through the cooperative.
The cooperative, if they're comfortable with it.
Okay.
Right? Because, I mean, you don't know who you speak with. You can speak to the extension officer, Fisheries extension officer, or you can call the Marine Police direct. So that number, I don't have it, but I mean, the persons that were at the meeting, as far as the respective chairpersons, have that number. 2 numbers were provided.
Yes, and it is quite a problem because perhaps, Minister, there are also the scenarios that the fisher folk may not be the ones doing it, but is it quite possible that the boats can be leased, it can be taken without their knowledge?
Yeah. Well, these are things they have to be mindful of, and they have to be more vigilant in observing. I mean, right? And I will not come here and say until I am proven differently. The fishermen doing it, but I'm sure it's a small world. I'm sure they would know who are the individuals, and they have a responsibility to share that information. So one way or the other, to
say something in order to save lives,
or else it's going to affect them.
Okay. Is there anything additional to what's happening now that is being proposed in terms of being able to safeguard the waters from this illegal activity? I know that there's the process there that you must call ahead. You have to give up the names of the individuals on the vessels. You can't have more than 3 people, I believe, on the vessel and so forth. And you must adhere to the curfew of 7 o'clock p.m. So what more can be done, or is there a proposal now being considered?
No, we're still holding to the protocols. Yes, that we want our individuals who are legal and mindful of the negative impact to give support, but we're still holding to the hours. One of the things that came out was that, and we have, not all the fish captains have a valid license, fisherman's license. So what we had agreed is that the Department of Fisheries will give a letter identifying that individual as a valid fisherman or fisher folk and signed by the head of the department, and we are so going to inform the police that that will suffice if they are caught outside the curfew hour, because fishermen goes out much earlier than 5 o'clock. And what we were told is that there were at least 2 incidents where guys were going to the sea and they were stopped by police and they were threatened to be arrested. So it's a matter of communication, because we can be agreeing with certain procedures and protocols, and not everybody
is aware of what's going on.
So it's a matter of sharing the information and letting the Commissioner of Police. That is what we're looking at. But definitely the protocols as is. As far as the Marine Police is concerned, we said we should continue with it. Just that those who are there legally should be providing information, not after the fact. All right, because you can't say, okay, I know a boat coming in, and 3 days afterwards you report it. It's too late, on a timely basis.
So, Minister, you wanted to talk about agro-processing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, because that is something we've been discussing for quite some time. How do you add in value to what we do in agriculture? How much closer are we to being able to see a full-fledged agro-processing sector happening?
It's there, Lisa. I mean, for the past 2 World Food Days, I was very impressed to see the number of local agro-processors in St. Lucia. And that is why we had a meeting with all the agro-processors sometime earlier in the year. We have heard what the challenges are. They have now formed themselves into a group with not a formal, but a very informal, smaller committee, discussing with us to see how we can give support to our agro-processors. But we have a number of persons, right? Surprising. I was surprised myself from World Food Day at Fordo and then come to the VG field to see how many persons involved in agro-processing, despite the fact that as a government we initiated 2 major centers, one in Foaso and one in Alger. And now we are constructing another center in Foaso for what we call our rural women. So at least we have one in Alger and we have one in Foaso. But what we found out is that the challenges are space for expansion, because you're operating from home, they need space for expansion.
There's a lot of cottage industry happening
here. They need assistance with packaging material, and of course with what we call a market. All right. Now, we had started giving support with the whole aspect of the market by engaging Invest St. Lucia. And what Invest St. Lucia had agreed with before COVID, during the tourism industry season, the cruise ship season, was to establish tents at Point Seraphim. All right? And that's why they formed themselves into a group, establish tents at Point Seraphim, and provide an opportunity to at least to see how we can capitalize on the cruise industry. Unfortunately, that didn't materialize because we had to close down. But what we are seeing, and I've been discussing with the Honorable Prime Minister, which is in agreement with the restructuring and the improvement to the fisheries market, is one area we can look at seriously to establish what we call locally produce unit. And that's why they have to come as a group, because you can't have every individual agro-processors go in there. You don't have the space, but it's for them to form themselves into a group and for us to get that support. And we're also looking at, we have taken them on board post-COVID as far as giving support. We have an allocation of about, if we get the money, $800,000 to give support to them. I had a discussion on the phone with the acting manager of Bank of St. Lucia, who has indicated that they are interested in giving support. Also, we have to start engaging Central Development Bank. But number one hurdle is for them to come together, because we can't have every individual going on their own. Unity is strength. And it's for us now give support in the whole question of packaging, give support in the question of marketing, which is critical, and exposure. And that's what the Prime Minister has been saying to Winfresh. Heritage, we have these individuals. Why is it that we can't expand our market share as far as the UK? Because we have every week we have the Gizboat coming down here. So transportation from St. Lucia to the UK is not a problem. Right?
So we don't just have to think about export the bananas, transporting that, but you can also
diversify.
Yes.
So that's some of the things that we're speaking of. So that's, we're now giving them some attention and to give support to them. And of course, I can see that one of the things we're looking at is, because of the development of the fisheries market, we might have to relocate at the marketing board outlet, existing outlets to the agricultural association building that's behind the bank. That's, I don't know if you,
yes,
yeah,
the old
okay, so
SLBG building
right?
there.
We're going to refurbish it, right, downstairs. And the plan is to, the second and third floor, to see how we can improve it so that we can make space available for those who need space. So we are thinking ahead as far as this is concerned to see how we can give support to our agro-processors. But definitely, they are a very critical link in our plans and programs moving forward.
Okay, I know we have a few moments left, so I really want to ask you, somebody asked online pertaining to concessions for farmers. If hoteliers why can't farmers get concessions? I also want to add to that the sort of support that the government would be given during this COVID period and post-COVID inputs. So I know that's always the critical thing there. What is the thinking and how you can assist in that regard?
Well, farmers get incentives, Even the farmers will pay tax. But as far as incentive, farmers get incentive. We have the Agricultural Incentive Act, in fact, which we are reviewing. All right, the challenge we think that is too long. You can have a farmer apply, and in fact, when I go back to cabinet, I have to ask for an extension of an incentive I was given to a farmer. Why? Because the time he applied and he got the incentive, he was not able to secure the vehicle that he wanted to secure because the vehicle was sold. So now he has to come back to us to make a change as far as it's concerned. So what we are doing as a ministry is to review the Agricultural Incentive Act. The act is there to give incentive to our farmers. They have to apply through the extension officer and we take it to cabinet. What we are saying is that if you have a farmer who has been well established and that farmer is continuing to engage in agriculture, there's no need to bring that request to cabinet. The ministry can approve it, a faster process. If it's a new farmer over a certain threshold, say the incentive will cost in the vicinity of say $60,000 to $100,000, then you could go to cabinet. But anything below $50,000, the PS should be able to sign it off. So that is some of the changes that we are doing in the agricultural incentive.
Okay,
as far as post-COVID, yeah, we have applied to, in the estimates, we applied to the Minister of Finance as far as our plans for post-COVID. We requested $10.2 million to assist our stakeholders. We got $7-point-something million. So now we are reviewing, because we have to go back and review now how we cut the cake, how we cut the pie. But I can say that based on discussions with Invest St. Lucia, they want to come on board, so we also want to engage them this week. So as soon as we finalize the figures and we review the packages, we will make it public, because we asked for 10 points, but we only get 7-point-something. So we have to go back and review. But definitely there are support post-COVID for our farmers.
Are you optimistic about what will happen to the agriculture sector post-COVID? Well, even as during this period and post-COVID as well, optimism?
I will tell you one thing, I'm going to share an experience. After the 2011 elections, I have a very close friend of mine, tell me, I go survive because I'm a tailor. And I tell him, boss, a man can wear a shirt for a whole year, but a man have to eat every day. So the farmers go survive. I'm optimistic because we have to feed ourselves. And we are doing this. So it's a matter of making changes, a matter of seeing how we can do things differently. COVID, of course, is creating challenges for us, but we can overcome it. I mean, our farmers are resilient people, and I'm highly full confidence that with the support of the cabinet that I have and the Prime Minister, with limited resources, we can overcome the challenges.
And very quickly, also the farmers can take advantage of the provision at the National Insurance Corporation for those who perhaps have lost. I know that there is the additional support, not the direct employees, but those outside of the tax structure, formal
the answer
structure.
Is no.
No, they can't.
Because we're looking at in the resources they have, we're looking at also provide some financial support. So you cannot benefit from both.
Twice. Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
they will not be in that pool, but there is a specific funding that will be given.
But the farmers who are paying the NIC, so they will automatically go. But those farmers who are not paying, we're looking at giving support as far as it's concerned. So you cannot benefit from both programs.
So they need not worry. That's coming on the way.
Yeah.
All right. But we want to say thank you so much, Minister. The information that you've given today, very invaluable. Let me just say that someone did inquire as to what the 7 crops, what they are. I hope I have that correct. I'm trying to get it from memory. Bell peppers, cantaloupes, watermelons, cucumbers, cabbages, pineapples, and lettuce.
Yes,
I'm not
it's
sure.
tomato. It's a tomato.
Tomatoes are in there as well.
Not
Okay.
cucumber, it's
So
lettuce.
so it's the tomato.
Lettuce, sweet pepper, cabbages, watermelon, pineapple, tomatoes.
Okay, very well. So the 7 crops there, and somebody also inquired about the meals program. How many are being produced? So is it still 10,000 meals
I'm not
a
sure.
day?
I'm not too sure the
I
figures.
believe
That's more the committee. But I think some figures like that have been. I'm not too sure the figures.
So if we're looking at 10,000 meals a day, then it means that the produce definitely is being bought. We want to say thank you so much to you for your participation, for joining us here in the Information Command Center with our discussion with the Minister with Responsibility for Agriculture, Natural Resources, Cooperatives, Fisheries, the Honorable Ezechiel Joseph. I am Lisa Joseph alongside Primus Hutchinson saying thank you so much and see you next time.